Okay, so next is from what we got here? Oh, Josh Doan. I guess Josh Dunn or Doan? D-O-N-E. That's Dunn, right? But Doan, I guess, is
done.
yeah. Why AEW fans don't care about Punk anymore? As an AEW fan, I'm tired of the Cornettes blaming the lack of interest in CM Punk because of 7 months of the Elite knocking him. Don't you guys think the reason why AEW fans dislike him is because of that press conference before everything happened? I think it's a myriad of things, but I think the main thing is that he was on a show that just is not. It's kind of flat. You know, he was a decent. He's a good character to have on TV. He does good promos. Has serviceable matches. He's a little bit of a shell of himself, but it doesn't. You know, he's not. You know, I mean, he moves better in there than Jericho does. Jericho's slowed down, but Jericho's way older. You know, Jericho's 51 now, right? Or 50. How old is Jericho?
Something like that. Let me.
Well, he's slowed down because when I go in the ring and I work out and I record myself, I can tell I've slowed down. But I'm 55 years old, obviously. So, but
Chris is 52.
Yeah, but Punk hasn't slowed down like he never was like fast or anything, right? But I just think it's like he can't carry that show on his back. Like the show is not, but like he's in standalone segments. His angles, his storylines are usually just promos, burying guys, and just then a match. And I don't know. I just think
saying why have the fans seemingly turned against him? Or
I don't think they turned against him. I just think the show has been flat, and it's not like he's coming back and he's going to invigorate like everything else is going to change. You know,
bro, the guy.
Right. Go ahead.
But the guy came back. You saw Collision, which you said you did. Mm-hmm. The guy got an incredible, ovation that lasted for a long time. Doesn't matter. He still got it. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, the place looked full. And on top of that, I just saw the ratings, and they almost did the same rating as Dynamite on a Saturday.
860.
So the guy was a draw. Obviously, all the people from Dynamite went over to that show to see what was going on.
Right. I will say this.
Do you think they can continue that number on a Saturday night?
I don't think so. Yeah. I think it was just like we've talked about other shows, whether it's Euphoria or this show that with Weekend and other shows. There's always that first week, curiosity factor, and then it depends how many people you can still engage. You know what I'm saying? And that show did nothing to make me want to come back to see it.
Right. One of the cliffhangers says, "Hey, you got to watch." Like here's the thing.
Well,
here's his response.
Yeah, I have news on that.
The general response is Collision was a good show. Okay, what about next week? I don't know. Like that's kind of like the attitude from pretty much everybody that watched it. It's like it was a good show, but you didn't like. I can miss it next week. It wasn't that good, and you didn't provide a cliffhanger for next week. Says I'm telling everybody like all you did was tell everybody it was a good show. You didn't tell everybody. Like the fans coming out of that show weren't saying, "Hey, you got to watch Collision next week."
TV.
Right. It wasn't that. So it's like they're 2 for 2 with Dynamite and Rampage, where their highest rated shows have been their first shows. I would suggest the exact same thing's going to happen with this show too. But I think this is a good test for them.
Yeah.
Let's make Collision the first. Like let's turn this around and let's see what we can do with Collision with episodic storytelling, and not make that show that's the show with Punk on it. Okay, so maybe we can get this show to like increase the numbers of like going forward. But I don't think they will because we have the history here.
Well, I agree with that. I got a little bit of news on that, but I also wanted to say I think Dynamite's going to start. Punk is supposed to be on Dynamite tonight because the Elite is not there. They're sending.
Yeah, isn't that ridiculous?
So Punk.
What is this?
What I mean is, if Punk, you're calling Collision the Punk show, but if they're going to spread him out and put him on Dynamite too, it's not necessarily going to be. I have to watch Collision for Punk because now he's also on Dynamite.
Yeah, but if they keep him the majority of the times there and every now and then bring him to Dynamite, it'll still be his show. Yeah. And I do think that what they should do is, I've said this before, they should give, Rampage to like, let's say, just an example, Sanjay Dutt, another one to Jeff Jarrett, maybe another one, maybe to Vince Russo, whoever, guys that have booked before and know how to do it. Eric says he doesn't want to come back to book. So, and if they don't give you results, you change them. But don't let it be a copy paste of Dynamite. They should have maybe Bryan Danielson over there because he did some good stuff when he was in WWE from what I read. Bring Brian Danielson over there. Maybe bring Sanjay and Jeff. Have them have a little committee there and do things different with episodic storytelling and something that looks different than what they're doing in Dynamite.
Yeah, and remember what the old system was for Memphis, rather. Lawler would book 6 months, and then Jerry Jarrett would book 6 months, and they would flip-flop.
How good would this be for Dynamite tonight? Bro, you want interest, you want a good number, you want to regenerate interest, so Punk's out there cutting a promo, you go to the back, here comes a car pulling up, the Elite come out, they go to the ring, they get in Punk's face, freaking FTR comes down, the security comes down, they don't have a fight, but the security gets between, they have a pull apart. And that would immediately just generate interest in having Punk, and it would just, bro, we would go to the point of interest that we had from that scrum, and it would just be reinvigorated right now. But these guys don't want to work against. It's ridiculous. Whatever.
But here's what happened when we talked about Collision yesterday. We were wondering why it kind of seemed like it went off the air cold, like there wasn't not necessarily cold, but there wasn't anything like a cliffhanger. Here's what happened. It says here. Despite the rumors that Punk turned down a match with Kenta at Forbidden Door, right? Kenta pulled out last second. He was supposed to attack Punk after the main event, but he has heat with Rocky Romero in New Japan and was asked to stop mentioning CM Punk. And so the closing angle was this must be an English guy, right? And this binned at the 9th hour. But from Kenta's tweets, he was saying that he would basically, he said he needs the bag to do that match. So basically he wants a lot of money, and I guess it didn't work out, or he has heat or whatever.
We know what the bag means.
They were gonna, well, you never know. Some of these listeners may not, but they were gonna do that to set up for the pay-per-view, but they couldn't get it to work out, or Ken does not want it there, or whatever it is. So that's why the show ended in a funny way.